Yeah, so a very warm welcome, everyone. Although it's not so warm here, I've been landed here in Delhi and it's so cold, like my throat. So let's neglect this. And why I just wanted to know why are seats vacant at here? Do you guys are enjoying the panoramic view there at the back? Yeah, no issues. As long as you're hearing me, it's good to me, right? Okay. As already Ram told you about me. I am a senior site reliability engineer at KodeKloud. I am working with KodeKloud on different projects. I'm not here about that. Apart from that, I'm also a Google Summer of Code mentor with OpenSSF, and I'm leading different communities in India, including if you have seen these communities as well, right? And I'm a professional cloud architect certified in GCP, Azure, and AWS, right? So yeah, this was about me, and due to the time restrictions, will directly jump onto the topic that we are going to discuss today. All right, so this is the outline, the agenda that we are going to cover today. So first and the foremost question, guys, why do we need a security in the open source? Okay, so this talk is very beginner friendly, beginner in terms of anyone, any programmer who is a good at programming but have not yet tasted what a security looks like. Okay, so that is why it's very important to understand what a security looks like. And then there's a demo, where I have created a simple intentional vulnerable application. And then we are going to deploy that application on any Git control. I've used GitHub. You can use anything you want to. And then I am going to demonstrate that how we can analyze those vulnerabilities and mitigate them with help of some open source tool such as CodeQL and OpenSSF Scorecard. So yeah, this is the agenda. I guess it's pretty much clear to all of you, right? All right. So first of all, a bit of a check. Okay. So why do we need a security? So have you checked a door where it's written, "Please rob me"? Right? No one wants it. No one wants their home to be robbed, right? So that is what a security means in the digital world. No one wants their data to be robbed by anyone, right? So again, anyone else apart from this, do you guys have idea like why do we need a security in open source? Anyone? No? So first of all, community trust, guys. The more your softwares are secure, the more community trust you will get, and more conferences like these can happen, source community day, right? And domino effect of vulnerabilities, guys. Do you know domino effect in general? If there is one thing happening, the series and chain of things will happen, right? So if you have a vulnerability at the very base level, the things that are built on top of that will have that vulnerabilities. A door can lead to multiple windows lead open, right? So that is again a domino effect. And third is reputation and credibility. The more secure your application is, the more reputed and credible it is, and the more and more organization, as you all know that federal governments and private sectors are using so many open source tools. So that is the reason, like, they are secure and companies are using them with complete trust, right? So that is called reputation and credibility. Before diving into the demo part, a very quick 50,000 feet view, I can say, of what tools that we are going to see today. First is CodeQL. So CodeQL is GitHub's generated open source, created open source tool. And this tool is basically used for analyzing, and the vulnerabilities that are happening in your application, the code. It doesn't runs your code. It just stores your complete code in some kinds of, you can say, a database, and then it analyzes that code and do a deep scanning and will show you what all vulnerabilities you guys have. Okay. Second is Scorecard. Scorecard, again, somewhat similar to CodeQL, like it helps to mitigate the vulnerabilities and tell you what things are vulnerable. But apart from that, it also tells you the security practices. Like if your application is not following any standard security practice, it will tell you, right? So yeah, we'll see them. Okay. Okay. So yeah, without wasting much time, let's dive into the demo part, guys. Right. Okay. I believe, is it visible at the back or should I, right? Okay, thanks. Okay, guys, great. So this is a very simple application. It is doing, it's just a note-taking application where you can just take note of anything, right? A user can come, log in, and take note, right? And this application is written in Flask. Flask, you guys know, is a framework of Python, and I'm using SQLite 3DB for storing the things like the notes the user is taking, right? So first function is initDB. This initiates any DB and creates a schema table called users. And in that table, it is storing three columns: the username, the password, and the notes he or she is taking, right? Then there is another function called add user, which is adding any user into the database. And here I am adding a user called admin with a password, which is a vulnerability because we should not expose any passwords here. So yeah, that's first. Second is the login template. I need a special applause for the UI I created. I'll show you in a while, okay? And yeah, first route is the login route, okay? So this is a simple login page pops up which asks for a username and passwords. If that validates, it's run a query which validates the username and passwords and lets you log in into the dashboard. So this is a second route called dashboard. Here you can just take your simple notes, what you want to take, right? It's doing nothing, just text box appear. It's an HTML form. Okay. Yeah. So it's an HTML form where you just text box appears and you type anything that stores into your database. That is what's the purpose of this dashboard. And this is a third route called download route. It's a simple, if you have seen download buttons, right? If you want to download something that stored into your some path, and you can just download that file onto your systems, right? This is how a download things work, right? So these are three routes, and there are some vulnerabilities into these three routes. What are those vulnerabilities? A hard word for me. I'll show you, okay? All right. So let me activate the virtual environment. Okay. All right, so application is running. Cool. So how's the UI? Do we guys enjoying it? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Or no need to clap. I can create more words than this. No issues. So it says a welcome guest UI. So as I told you, the ID password is admin123. Okay, there is some issue in here. Okay, I have just forgotten to add the secret key. Just a second. That is again a vulnerability. My screen is visible, right? Okay. So who will do the thing? So I've asked Claude to just solve this for me, right? No issues. It works fine. Okay. So what's the vulnerability? I'll show you. Here, there's a secret missing, right? There's an app secret. Again, this is a vulnerability which I've just added directly into my code base. And this is the application, and I can quickly show you. We'll go to admin123. And it just entered me into the dashboard page. Again, a beautifully looking page. And here we can just take note of different thing, right? And just say hello and everything. It basically stores the data onto my database, right? This is the application, right? So from a developer point of view, the complete application is working intentionally fine, right? What we want to achieve, it is working fine. But from a security point of view, it's not secured. How? Let me show you. Let's say what happens if I do something like this. It allowed me to enter into the application again. So any idea why this had happened? So this kind of vulnerability is known as SQL injection, right? So why is that this happened? So let me take you to the code quickly again. So here you can see I have run this query, right? This is the query. Let me take you to this, right? So this is the query, right? Where I'm selecting a user from a database where username is something and password is something, right? So what I have run here, this is my query, right? So let's try to change this till here. Okay. Can you see that? When I write that, you can see the rest of the thing is commented, which means whether password is supplied or not, I am able to log in into that application. So this is known as SQL injection. So you might not do these kinds of mistakes, but these things happens generally that we neglect because as a developer point of view, as I'm again saying that you have run this query and this query is working fine and everything is proper, right? But on the production point of view, this is something very vulnerable. So we should avoid these kinds of things. Okay, let me show you different example. Okay, admin 123. Okay. Here, this is a text box, right, where I am intended to take any kinds of notes, right? But let's say if I want to run some kind of script here, let's say a hacker in the house and they tried to run some kind of script in this box. It says hacked. So this shows this kind of vulnerability is known as XSS or cross-site scripting. And again, from a developer point of view, you might not be thinking in this manner, but a hacker can. Why? And this is a very simple script. This script is not doing nothing, just pops up a dialog box and saying what we have written. But you know there are scripts that can be written in JavaScript or Python or anything else that can be run directly from this your text box and can ruin your complete application, right? So I believe you got these two kinds of vulnerability properly, right? Now, the third vulnerability, which is depending on the third route called download, which I just told you, right? Download. So this route expects a parameter called file. So if I pass a parameter and let's try to access some file called app.py, which is my main application file. So it downloads that file here, right? So again, this is a third kind of dependency. This is called directory traversal vulnerability, where we are not securing our complete code base, our complete application, and anyone can come, can just alter these routes and can simply come into our application, right? So you can see a hacker came and he have the access to my complete code base. Not only the code base, the great part is hacker can also access my what we call it database as well. So when I go to file users DB, I am having multiple issues here. No issues, just okay. Let me log in again. Let's start with fresh. I hacked myself. Thank you. Okay, so you get the idea. Like I have the access to app.py. Similarly, this is my directory structure here. You can see the file called users.db. So if a hacker can reach here, why can't he reach to my users.db file? So users.db file is the database file which stores the complete information of what has been come in and what is going out regarding everything related to your databases, right? So these are three different kinds of vulnerabilities that we have in this application. And accidentally we push this complete code into the production, and then I don't have to tell you what all issues you are getting. Okay, so I have a bare minimum time just to say. Just neglect my commits. Okay, right. So I have pushed my code onto my GitHub. Now the thing is how we can install the security part. So here you can go to the security dashboard, and here you can install the OpenSSF from here called code scanning. So you don't have to write anything from scratch in order to install some kind of security tools. You can just go to code scanning. Here we can configure the scanning tool, and here we can explore the workflows, and I can go for OpenSSF Scorecard, or just scorecard comes up. Yeah, so here's the OpenSSF Scorecard. it basically creates the workflow for you, the GitHub Actions. Here you can just modify these settings for your based on your environment, what you want to do here, and if you want to change it, let's keep it to default for now, and let me commit these changes. Yeah, so my changes are commit, and in the actions you can see it will take a while, but in actions you can see the scorecard action is running here, which once it is completed, you can see a scorecard report, a report of security practices and the vulnerabilities which are on your application, right? So how we can assess the score, what is actually the score of my application? So for that, you can go to this scorecard repository, and here you can see a badge option. Yeah, here. So this is the badge. I can add it to my README. Neglect my beautiful README will not make any changes here. And yeah, here. Okay, done. So once it says the scorecard says the score of my application is 3.9, which is very bad, because on the scale of 10, 3.9 means it's full of vulnerabilities, the threats, the issues, right? And we can get the analyzed report of my complete application here, along with all the vulnerabilities it has, like what all things I have to fix, what level of bugs I have, the critical level, the high, the medium, different kinds of things. I can go and pick them up one by one, resolve them, and check the score again, right? So this is the way we can configure the scorecard on my application. You can also check the vulnerabilities from here, security tab, and go to code scanning, and it shows me all the vulnerabilities and the security practices that I'm breaching in my application, and we can just fix them according to the priorities, and it will fix the thing. The man with the score, he's threatening me again and again. Okay, right. And another thing is CodeQL. It might not be the appropriate time as of now to neutralize the threat and again assess the score. But yes, I can show you how you can install the CodeQL. It's the similar way we install the scorecard. You can have one or more kind of security tools in your application. There's no issue in that. But if you work with one, whether you have an individual project, a company project, a personal or an organization or an open source projects, you can just use these kinds of tools to help yourself. Any question at the back? No? Okay. Yeah. Yes, you can. You can integrate it. No, you have to be a maintainer. Yeah. Because actually what happens is CodeQL and Scorecard, as I told you, works. Actually, they take your data, they runs a deep scanning. So deep scanning requires a permission. In fact, if you go with the GitLab enterprise versions, it will not allow you to install Scorecard as of now. CodeQL as of now, because of its vulnerability that it has. It takes all your code and runs a deep scan on it. Right. So that's the thing. So yeah, this way you can run CodeQL and Scorecard on our applications. And here on the security tab, you can just write the security policies so that whenever any new maintainer or any new contributor comes in, they know what and how do they need to contribute, report a bug or report a vulnerability. I can just commit these changes and show you this very simple security file here. This is the very basic one which is created. But if you go on the bigger projects, the open source project, you can see these policies on how to report a bug or vulnerability, again by going to security. And here you can see these reports. These security MD, or you can say the code of conduct or guidelines, like how you should report a bug or a vulnerability in your application whenever you go or contribute into some applications. Okay. So yeah, this was it. I wanted to show you how we can fix the bug and again check the score. But yes, for now, this task is on you. You can just create applications, check the score, improve the score, and let me know, are you able to do that? Okay. Yeah, I believe this was it from my end. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys.